How to make my millionaire's cake with caramel sponges, chocolate buttercream and a caramel drizzle. It is so good. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back this week with something that is probably my favourite marriage of recipes again, which is my millionaire's cake. So if you follow me for a while, you know I absolutely adore millionaire's shortbread. So I thought I'd marry everything together and make a caramelly sponge, a chocolate buttercream, a caramel drizzle, and some little millionaire's bites on top to create just an absolutely delicious showstopper that is so easy to make. So let's get baking. So with a cake like this, it's quite a large sponge because we're making 3 layers. If you only want to do a 2-layer cake, you can take away a third of the ingredients and just bake it into 2 tins. But for this, I have 400 grams of a baking spread or butter. I tend to find it easier to use a baking spread for a cake sponge. One, because I think it makes a more moist cake, but also it's cheaper to buy in large quantities, but you can use either of them. And then because this is a millionaire's cake, I am classically going to use my favourite light brown soft sugar. But if you wanted a slightly deeper caramel flavour, you could use dark brown soft sugar, or you can use a mix of both. If you wanted just to have a plain vanilla sponge though, use caster sugar and add a little bit of vanilla extract. But because this is such a big cake, all of your ingredients base around the eggs. So I get eggs at different sizes, so you have mixed size, medium, large, but the best thing you can do is to weigh the eggs in their shells before you measure out your other sponge ingredients. So for example, this is 7 medium eggs, but because the eggs in their shells weighed 411 grams, I then matched my flour, sugar and butter also to 411 grams, and it would just create the perfect sponge. But always try and aim as close to 400 grams as possible. In this recipe, I'm going to be using self-raising flour because it's readily available here, it's the easiest thing to use, but even though this does have a little bit of raising agent naturally in the flour, whoopsie daisy, I'm still going to add a tiny bit of baking powder. It's just a little bit, because it's such a large amount of cake mix, it'll just help have a slightly airier texture, but it is optional. Whereas if you needed to make your own like self-raising flour, you can do it by adding 2 level teaspoons of baking powder to 150 grams of plain flour and like ratio that up, leave out the extra baking powder. But either way, beat this together until a smooth, creamy mixture, and then you can split between your baking tins. I'm going to start by adding my baking spread or butter to my bowl. Then I'm going to add my sugar as well. And then I'm going to beat these together until they're light and fluffy. Now I'm just going to add my eggs, and then I'm going to add my baking powder as well. And then as I mix, I'll add in my flour. Once you've made your cake mix and it's lovely, thick and smooth like so, you can put it into your tins. So as I said earlier, this is a 3-layer cake. So I just have 3 8-inch tins. These are the PME tins, so I'll make sure to link these in the description box below because I love baking with them. And all I ever tend to do is line the bottom. I don't generally line the sides of my tins because I find that when the cake is baked perfectly, it'll naturally come away from the tins. But if you want to, you can. But either way, split your cake mix into your 3 tins equally and then bake in your preheated oven. I have a fan oven, so I bake at 160 fans, so it's about 180 regular, but just keep an eye on the timings. And as always, all of the method details are on the blog post, which is linked in the description box below. So once your cake mix is in your tins, you just need to smooth it over so it's flat in the tin, and then you can bake in your oven. It's super easy. I just put, because it's a fan oven, 2 on one layer and 1 beneath. But if you're not sure about how your oven works, I'd recommend getting an oven thermometer just to make sure that your oven is the correct temperature you think it is, and then you'll have the perfect bake every time. So once these are baked, I'm going to leave them to cool in tins for about 15-20 minutes and then turn them out onto a wire rack to cool fully. So now that my sponges have baked and cooled on the wire rack, they're ready to decorate. Always make sure that your sponges are fully cool before decorating. Otherwise you're gonna end up with a sloppy mess and nobody wants that. So the best thing you can do is to crack on with your buttercream. I tend to always use block butter for buttercream. I'm saying that slowly because it's so important. You shouldn't use a baking spread, you shouldn't use a margarine. You need to use block butter that comes in foil because it's the only way that your frosting is going to stay firm. By the time you add in your cocoa powder and your icing sugar, you want it lovely and thick. That sometimes it's so thick you still actually need to add some boiling water to thin it out. That is how good you want your buttercream to be. So I've got some room temperature unsalted butter, I have some cocoa powder and my icing sugar. You can of course flavour the frosting a bit if you want, but because we go with the Millionaire shortbread theme, this is meant to represent the chocolate layer of the Millionaires, so I've just got the cocoa powder and the icing sugar. And then, as I said, a little bit of boiling water, and this is just an easy way of thinning out your buttercream enough to make the perfect texture if it needs it. Sometimes it doesn't, especially if you're baking in the middle of summer. The butter will be so much warmer, but because it's a slightly colder month still for when I'm actually filming this video, I've got a little bit of boiling water just in case I need it. I'm just going to start by adding my butter to a bowl, and then I can beat it for a few minutes until it's really smooth. And now I'm going to add my cocoa powder. Now I'm going to add my icing sugar. As you can see, this buttercream is really thick at the minute because of the cocoa powder. So I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of boiling water and mix it really well, just to smooth it out. And that is how you make silky smooth chocolate buttercream. So now that my buttercream is ready, I'm going to decorate my sponges. So I have my favourite piping tip here, which is my 2D closed star and a large piping bag. I always do it in one big batch, so the larger the piping bag, the better. And as always, I'll link these in the description box just so you know which ones I use. But I've also got some Millionaires bites. I will say these are just the shop bought ones. There's no shame in using shop bought ingredients because this is also shop bought caramel. But if you wanted to make your own, you can find a recipe for homemade caramel swirls on my blog, and also there's a Millionaires recipe which you could cut down into pieces if you want. Or you could just decorate with shortbread rather than Millionaires bites. And then I have some extra little sprinkles for an extra touch, but it's up to you. When it comes to decorating a cake, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do exactly as I do. Just use it as a little bit of inspiration. Use a different piping tip, just slather the frosting on, whatever you prefer. Just make sure you have fun with it. To start my decorating, I take off my bit of parchment paper and just place it onto whatever plate I'm using. And then I pipe on some buttercream. Then after a layer of buttercream, I'm just going to add on a drizzle of caramel for each layer. And then repeat. And then finally add the last layer of your cake and decorate with even more swirls of buttercream. Just gonna add on a few cute little sprinkles on the top. And then of course, I'm just gonna add on a little Millionaire's bite for each slice. And that is how you make my homemade Millionaire's cake. As I said, it's a showstopper, it's delicious, it's all my favorite things in one cake. But obviously make sure to check out the full recipe in the description box below. The method will be on the blog post, that'll be linked in the description box, as well as anything useful you might need from this video. Any comments, leave them below, and of course make sure to subscribe and come back next time for another delicious treat.